On this show, we tend to concern ourselves with the little things, which of course means we usually completely neglect the big things. We should probably neglect the little things, too.
Hello, and welcome to Seincast, a retrospective on all 180 episodes of Seinfeld, being hosted by two guys who can barely run their own lives. My name is Vinnie.
My name's Matt.
How are you this evening?
Just fine. This is the best part of the year when we have to turn off our air conditioners and sweat it out.
Oh yeah, it's what they call a schwitz, right?
Yeah.
We're schwitzing over here.
Beats a sweat. Good sweat. I had a great time with you at the Brooklyn Cyclones game this past weekend. We met a lot of our listeners, which was awesome. Came out of nowhere. You know, we had some regulars we knew would be there, like Dave and Jamie. Jamie won the Elaine dancing contest.
Congrats to you.
Mm-hmm. We've got Shane and Joanna, who play trivia almost like once a week whenever I'm hosting. It was great to see them.
She's got a full arm of Seinfeld tattoos, which I was admiring.
Mm-hmm. We also got to meet up with Eric and Devora. Eric helps me with trivia sometimes, but wanted to give shout outs to a couple of other listeners who, you know, came up to us and chatted for a while. Owen, Fallon, Alex, Jesse, Lewis, Jen, and Mary. Thanks a lot for... It was flattering. We were just standing in line, you know, ready to meet John O'Hurley, and people would just come up and introduce themselves. And yeah, it was very flattering.
Matt, I think you're forgetting one key listener.
Oh, who's that?
None other than Teach himself, Andy.
Yes, Andy. I'm sorry. Andy, who we met last year at the game. Yep. He's another trivia guru. He hung out with us for a while. He got a photo with Steve Heitner last year with us. And this year we... did photos again with John O'Hurley. Unfortunately, we did not get the group shot that we wanted. It
was tough. He was only available from the second to the sixth inning. I believe you got in line at about the third inning, and that's how long it took for us to actually get up to, you know, be eligible to take the photo with him. The line was so long, in fact, that they had to actually cut the line. So I don't think everybody, you know, got their chance to take a picture with him. But we spent the majority of the game in line waiting for the photo.
Pretty much, yeah. It was not...
Totally worth it.
It could have been run a little better. I think those first, 20 people meeting John O'Hurley might have talked for too long or...
Perhaps.
Got a lot of stuff signed. By the time we came up, you were like... John O'Hurley, we do a Seinfeld podcast. We really
that's all I'm going to say. No, let's take a picture. Cheese. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think I said something to him about... I think just thanking him for his time, but he looked so fried from
a
the
long
whole
day.
Yeah, he threw out the opening pitch to his
son, who was in a catcher, attire, which was kind of cool, and he sang the national anthem.
Yeah, set of lungs on that guy. We'll try to find a video and include it in our show notes. It's worth a listen. But yeah, had a great time at the game with you. We watched the fireworks together. That was July 4th. But we also, I don't know, we did some other Seinfeld stuff over the weekend. You gave me an incredible belated birthday gift. I did not expect this at all. It is the, what do you call the poster? It's
a chart about nothing.
Not billiards. It's, chart about nothing. Framed. This is a poster that we, I think, brought up a few months ago of the main four secondary characters and just a bunch of girlfriends, boyfriends,
bosses,
coworkers,
proteges.
There are these really cool little symbols on it, signifying, who they're related to, what kind of relationship they had with the main four. Just an incredible piece of art. So I can't wait to hang that in my apartment.
The fun is trying to figure out who, if, somebody didn't make the cut, because there is a, wealth of faces on there that even going through it, you're like, I didn't even think they'd think to put this person on this this poster here.
Yeah, there's some really creative choices on there. We also watched some Comedians in Cars together. We just watched the Judd Apatow episode, which was wonderful.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
This episode, I think, was trending for a while because Jerry gets pretty emotional.
The subject of Gary Shandling comes up, and Jerry had to kind of wipe a tear away, and it was really, really sweet to see him get so emotional over a dear friend who he lost.
Yeah, I've never seen Jerry cry before. That was really something to see. He got me a black and white. There was a lot of Seinfeld stuff going on.
We got our bobbleheads, which look great in our apartments.
Oh,
Very
that's
happy
right.
about that.
Yeah. So I was thinking about next year. I would really like to reach out to the Brooklyn Cyclones. I don't know if I told you this, and see if we could coordinate a Seincast meetup / trivia night, something like before the game.
Like that idea.
I think that'd be kind of fun. It would be a way to get more people out to Coney Island for the game. It would get Seincast listeners to connect, and we could all play some trivia, So, well, let's see. Maybe we could...
It's a fantastic idea, Feldman.
No, it's not practical. Maybe we could get this going for next year. Who knows? But let's talk a couple events here, Vinny. I've got some trivia going on, Seinfeld trivia events that I'm hosting in July. I'll be at Maxwell's on the 11th in Hoboken, Tavern on 3rd on the 12th, Abbey Tavern on the 13th, Gotham Bistro on the 21st, and the Dubliner on the 26th. All of those events start at 8 o'clock, except for the Dubliner. That starts at 7. I'll include links in our show notes. If anyone wants to play some Seinfeld trivia, you just need to RSVP.
Are you going to be the one emceeing each of those events?
Yeah, I'll be hosting, writing the questions, the works. Another event here that one of our listeners wrote in about, Stephen Hanley out in London is running a Seinfeld curb evening at his bar, The Alibi, this Sunday, July 10th, starting at 8 o'clock. They're going to be airing the following episodes of Seinfeld: The Opposite, the movie, The Chicken Roaster, as well as the curb episodes Porno Gill, Crazy Eyes Killa, and The Freak Book. So this is going to be kind of a night, for fans to get together, drink, hang out, party, watch Seinfeld and Curb, and there'll be a quiz, like a quick fire quiz with prizes in between episodes. So
I'm really sorry that I don't live in the UK right now.
yeah, sounds like a lot of fun. In fact, Steven just let us know, too, that there's going to be such a big turnout for this evening that his boss is adding a second night, date to be determined. But,
very cool.
Yeah, if you can't make this Sunday the 10th, there will be another date, which I'm sure we'll announce in the coming weeks.
I also love his choice of episodes for that night. So well done, Stephen.
Mm-hmm, definitely. But for listeners in the States, Elizabeth Yuko let us know about her upcoming panel discussion, Seinfeldian Ethics, Learning Something from the Show About Nothing, on Wednesday, August 10th at QED in Astoria, Queens. She's starting out with like a brief ethics lecture using scenes from Seinfeld as case studies, and then she's going to bring on a panel for a group discussion. On the panel, you've got Jennifer Armstrong, the author of Seinfeldia, which just came out a couple of days ago, Josh Gondelman, who is the guy behind the Modern Seinfeld Twitter account, and he's also a writer for Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Also on the panel, Alex Curley, who is a friend of Elizabeth's and a college roommate who's coming up from your neck of the woods, Vinny, from D.C. If anyone wants to go to this event, it sounds really cool. Again, it's on August 10th at QED in Astoria, Queens. I think it's about $6 or so for a ticket. I'm definitely going. My wife will be going. I think I'm just now telling you about this, Vinny, so...
Well, hey, I have Wednesdays off, so I might be able to make this happen.
Hey, sounds pretty interesting. So, yeah, we'll include a link in our show notes if anyone would like to buy tickets. But, Vinny, if listeners want to send us their thoughts on this week's episode, have a Seinfeld page website they want plugged, or just want to say hello, how can they do that?
They can reach out to us at seincast@gmail.com. They can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, or Instagram.
There you go.
Every week, it's always different.
You told me earlier you wanted to jazz up that segment. Do you feel like you did this time?
Nope, I fell flat with my jazz shoes on.
Vinny, what episode do we have this week?
We are discussing the 12th episode of Season 6, The Label Maker, written by Alec Berg and Jeff Schaefer, directed by Andy Ackerman, and it originally aired January 19th, 1995.
Let's talk a little trivia before we get started. Alec Berg and Jeff Schaefer had a commentary track on the DVD in case anyone owns the DVD sets. They do a fantastic job. I really like these guys.
Yeah, me too. They're like comedy nerds, and they just love conversing about, all things related to comedy, specifically this episode. So it was really cool to hear their insight and appreciation for this episode that they wrote.
Yeah, they're, really good friends. They go back a ways, comedy writing partners, good rapport, all in all. They shared a lot of little, trivia tidbits. We'll talk about some here, the rest in our episode discussion. First up, though, Risk plays a big role.
The game of world domination.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, they lived in a very small, flea-ridden apartment at the time they wrote this episode, and they would play Risk because they didn't have money to do anything else. So, there you go.
Pretty cool.
In fact, Vinny, you played your first game of Risk with me, my wife, and 2 of our friends, I think last summer, right?
This is true, and I got my ass handed to me. I felt like Newman that night.
Yes. It was a lot of fun. Scott Thomas, Bonnie's roommate / whatever. That was Jeff Schaefer's roommate in college. That was his name, Scott Thomas.
Have you ever used him as one of your ID rounds? Because he's a twofer.
Never, and I totally forgot he has a last name.
But you only see it. You never. It's one of those ones where you only see it visible on the label. It's not mentioned. Yeah,
and usually we're, I don't know, pretty strict. Like people have to say their name for it to count. But this is blatant enough. Scott Thomas, it's on a label.
It's the episode title, for God's sake.
When Jeff and Alec wrote their first draft, they would always give it to Jerry and Larry for a pass, really to punch it up, to add their magic. But when Jerry and Larry got the first draft of the script, they decided just to go to the table read as is.
And that actually caught the writers off guard. Jeff Schaefer's like, you're not gonna do anything to it, And
you're supposed to work your magic and make it funny. Better. Yeah.
What a compliment for Jerry and Larry to pay to these young writers by this episode is good enough to make it straight to the table.
Absolutely.
That's really cool.
What was the other episode they did this season?
They did The Gymnast.
That's right. The Gymnast. Not a huge fan of The Gymnast. I forget how you felt about it.
I was lukewarm on The Gymnast, but I am loving this episode this week already.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that Jeff and Alec were shocked that this episode went straight to the table read as is, it's very flattering. They're being humble, but I think it's well deserved. This is one of, I think, their best scripts, without a doubt.
I got news for you, boy.
Did you hear that?
What was that? A little belt burp?
I don't know. So we're going to talk about this later. Actually, next up on my trivia here with Julia in this episode. I am dealing with 101 degree fever right now.
Oh, playing through the pain, I see.
Yeah, so I'm a little off in case anyone was wondering. So this should be an interesting episode.
Okay.
A lot of slurring, mumbling, more than normal. You were saying, Vinny, I'm sorry.
I think I was saying that I believe, I don't want to put spoilers out there, but I think this is cracking my top 20 already. Yeah.
Look at you.
It's that good.
Let's talk about Julia here and this cold I just mentioned. Apparently during this episode, every scene Julia is in, she was suffering from a really bad cold. Might have been a sinus infection. We've gotten conflicting reports. We're not sure. But she was really sick. And we have some great audio here of Bryan Cranston talking about filming that scene where Elaine and Tim Whatley embrace passionately.
She looked at me and she goes, "I'm sorry. I've got a really bad cold." And I went, "Oh, no." 2 days later, I came down with a cold. But it was fun to say, I got it from Julia. She was all over me.
Even in the interview, Bryan Cranston, you just gotta love him. The way he does a Julia impression. "I'm sorry." And he's such a good sport about it. He has a great story that you can tell that he got to, make out with Julia and he got a cold as a result.
It was interesting because that interview was taken from the back lot of Malcolm in the Middle. You can see the houses in the background, which is kind of funny. But this whole, Bryan Cranston, Julia kissing moment reminds me a lot of the Emmys from, I think, like a year or two ago. Do you remember when she won for Veep?
Yes, I do.
She's walking up to the stage and Bryan Cranston just swoops in before she hits the stairs and just, pulls her in and plants one. Very bizarre moment.
And doesn't she play it off like nothing, like it's nothing out of the ordinary?
I forget, I remember. Yeah, I forget exactly what. She either played it off. I thought she alluded to Seinfeld.
You see.
On stage, but... Vinny just watched the clip from the Emmys. So, Vinny, what happened exactly?
So he goes complete, 100 to 0. There's no 90-10 here. He's all in. And then she kind of resisted first, but then she's all in. And they go so long that Jimmy Fallon has to break it up and bring her on stage. He was the one who presented the award. When she gets on stage, she says, "Oh, yeah, he was on Seinfeld." And you see Bryan Cranston kind of wiping the lipstick off his lips like this.
We'll include a link in our show notes if anyone wants to revisit that clip. It's a great moment. this episode was filmed before the race, just from, I think, 2 weeks ago. I think you had the switch, and then you had the label maker, and then you had the race. Mm-hmm. But the switch and the label maker were like delayed a month, basically. So the race could coincide with Christmas, and this episode could coincide with the Super Bowl, which typically runs in January. Mm-hmm. In fact, Super Bowl 29 took place on Sunday, January 29th, 1995 at Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami. The San Francisco 49ers beat the San Diego Chargers 49-26.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Puck It Up.
Okay, let's move on to the opening stand-up.
Loyalty to any one sports team is pretty hard to justify. Because the players are always changing, the team can move to another city. You're actually rooting for the clothes when you get right down to it. You know what I mean? You are standing and cheering and yelling for your clothes to beat the clothes from another city. Fans will be so in love with a player, but if he goes to another team, they boo him. This is the same human being in a different shirt. They hate him now. Boo! Different shirt! Boo!
I love this bit, and I do remember this feeling in the 90s. I was a big baseball fan growing up, Oriole fan. I remember when Rafael Palmeiro came over from the Rangers to the Orioles in 94, and it was like night and day. All of a sudden, people loved him because he was now in our town wearing our clothes, so I totally identify with Jerry's stand-up here.
I remember I was in Cleveland the day after LeBron James went to the Miami Heat.
Oh, boy.
And the vibe throughout the town, it's all everyone was talking about. And people
were burning jerseys.
Yeah, people were furious, so mad, so hurt by him leaving. And I just didn't get it. Not only not being from Cleveland, but also just not giving a shit.
You're like, so what's good tonight?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, they hate him. And now he's back in Cleveland. They love him again.
It's like, come on.
LeBron James is the greatest. You gotta love sports.
First scene of the episode, we're at a hot dog cart. What's the first thing you think of when you see a hot dog cart in Seinfeld?
I thought I was going to see FDR under there setting up a hot dog for George.
Of course.
But that's coming later.
Yeah, much later. In this scene, Jerry is trying to get rid of his Super Bowl tickets because the Drake, scheduled his wedding for that Sunday and put Jerry in the wedding party. And they're great seats, too. Row F.
Row F in front of the G's. Hobnobbing with the D's and E's. Speaking of the Drake, one of the reasons I love this episode so much is all the callbacks.
Yes.
Going back to season 5, 4, possibly 3, 2, 1. I count 6. I have a list here that I'm going to go through as we go through the episode. This is the first one, Drake's wedding from the handicap spot. You remember the Drake?
Yeah, of course.
Love the Drake.
Like Scott Thomas, a character that I didn't realize has a first name. Also, Scott.
Scott Drake.
Scott Drake.
How do you feel about the Drakette?
I'm lukewarm on the Drakette.
Okay.
In fact, I recall in that episode, the handicap spot, hating the Drake. Not a fan.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, an interesting character to bring back. What about asking Kramer or Elaine for the Super Bowl tickets?
Elaine laughed at him, and Kramer's only interested in Canadian football.
Right. Great line. That really sticks with you for some reason.
It does. We're learning a lot about Kramer this season. And a fun little anecdote from Jeff Schaefer and Alec Berg. Once they mentioned this, that Kramer admired Canadian football, the Canadian Football League sent the staff at the show an entire crate with jerseys and all sorts of Canadian football paraphernalia. So I think they were grateful to kind of get a mainstream shout out.
Absolutely. The topic of Canada or anything Canadian only comes up a handful of times on Seinfeld, but I wrote them out here. In the Blood, Kramer is taping Canadian Parliament.
Okay.
In the opposite, Elaine, we found out, put Canadian quarters in the washing machine. And in the comeback, similar, Jerry has a joke saying, "Hey, did you finally get someone to take that Canadian quarter?"
And he says that to George, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So Canada gets brought up a few times.
Some Canadian love there.
Mm-hmm. Jerry keeps pushing these tickets on George and suggests, "Hey, why don't you take your girlfriend Bonnie?" But George just looks at the tickets as a bill for $1,500 once he buys airfare and finds a hotel. Plus, they'd have to find a sleeping Plus, they'd have to have a sleeping arrangement conversation, which he finds depressing. He, in fact, hasn't slept with Bonnie yet. He hasn't even seen her apartment.
I gotta say, hearing George's outlook on somebody offering you free Super Bowl tickets, it seems depressing, but damn, is it quite logical? Like, he's absolutely right. It is a bill for $1,500.
I remember in my early 20s when, like, the first of my friends were getting married, and they're not destination weddings, but, you know, when you have to fly for all of these weddings and have to get a gift, have to get a hotel, I hated getting invited to weddings, for one, and then two, having to be in the wedding party.
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh,
especially we're at that age, the late 20s, early 30s, where all your friends are starting to get married. So you're having, 4 to 5 weddings each year.
Yeah, and it started adding up.
Yeah.
Come on.
Speaking of sleeping arrangements, do you recall a conversation that Jerry and Elaine had in The Bubble Boy regarding sleeping arrangements?
Oh, you'll be naked, of course.
There it is.
Yeah, very good.
So Jerry's got experience.
Now, that's sort of a callback, or at least a connection we can make.
That's true. Oh, I got 7 on my list.
We'll say the Drake is a blatant callback, whenever it's a character or...
I got 6 blatant ones. The
Sure.
fact that George is bald wearing glasses, that doesn't count.
Sure, okay.
These are specific ones here.
Well, as they head down the sidewalk, George spots Tim Whatley approaching.
Hey, is he still mad at you for crashing his Thanksgiving party?
Nah, I explained the whole thing to him. He was fine with it. I blamed it on you.
Was that not as good as the first one?
No, that was good. That was good.
That sneeze was, I don't want to say improvised, but it occurred naturally as they were filming, and the director immediately yelled "cut." But they found a way to edit it in the editing room because it made the scene seem more natural.
I love the sneeze. I thought it was scripted or something that Jason improvised, but no, sure enough.
I think it's perfect. I love it. I'm glad they kept it in. And actually, it reminds me of a blooper where Larry David's doing Steinbrenner, and George comes in. He says, "Why would George want to steal from the Yankees?" And he sneezes, and he tries to continue with his lines.
God bless you, George.
Yeah. Why don't you come in and do that again? So they have to cut and redo it. But I love this sneeze here.
I got another blooper for you in the... help me out here. It's not Suicide. What's the one with Martin and the Stooges and Drake's coffee cakes?
That's a Suicide.
Suicide. So you
Martin.
You got George, Jerry, and Elaine in the hospital hallway, and this is when Elaine is fasting. She's like starving, and she like freaks out, and she like, did you see the wall move? Yeah. In that moment, Jason sneezes. Do you remember that?
Right. Yeah, I do.
It's a very funny sneeze too. Like his whole body shakes.
We got to get this guy some allergy pills or something.
Well, they chat to Tim for a while. Jerry cracks a joke that they're just a couple of gals out on the town shopping, gabbing.
I'm getting a makeover, which falls on deaf ears.
Yes. This is something I think they do a lot with George. I can only think of one example, but I swear it happened several times.
I think, well, Jerry's not there for this, but I think of George saying, "Modeling, what's that like? Fun?
Excellent.
Stupid.
I'm thinking when he's out with Jerry and Susan, and this is the Sponge episode with that girl who's, turns out she's depraved. You don't know.
Too good.
Right. She's like, "You'll never guess who volunteered." And he's like, "Mick Jagger." There was that. And then there was another moment where he's like, "Yep, the oceans are getting really sudsy."
Susan that's right.
Just seems very annoyed with him. Mm-hmm.
That was Lena, right?
Yes.
Off the AIDS call list.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember. In fact, I had just come from buying a speedboat. Jerry asks if Tim is interested in going to the Super Bowl and just hands over the 2 tickets. Hey, have a good time. And Tim offers to take him to dinner. Ever been to Mendy's?
No dinner. Callback number 2, Mendy's from The Soup.
Excellent. Would you say that the Thanksgiving party is a callback? I mean, that's more like plot related.
It's not on my list,
right,
so I don't know.
No worries.
We're splitting hairs. But yeah, technically, yeah.
There is a lot in this episode, is what we're saying.
Right.
Next scene, we're at Jerry's apartment. He's on the phone with Tim.
Tim, you didn't have to get me a thank you gift. I know, it's a label maker. The Label Baby Jr. Yeah, I hear they're good. Well, label me thankful. Okay, well, you enjoy those tickets. Bye-bye. Yeah. Come in.
can I put this?
What is it?
It's Risk, Jerry. The game of world conquest. All right, that's perfect.
Kramer, why do you have to... Hello, Newman.
Hello, Jerry. Will he take it? I gotta go to work.
Take what?
The board, Jerry. We've been playing at Newman's for 6 hours, but he's got to go.
So why don't you leave it at Newman's?
I wanted to. He won't let
We
me.
have to put the board in a neutral place where no one will tamper with it.
So that's here.
Yes, you're like Switzerland.
I don't want to be Switzerland.
Jerry, Newman and I are engaged in an epic struggle for world domination. It's winner take all. People cannot be trusted.
Don't look at me.
Oh, I'm looking right at you, Big Daddy.
All right, soldier boys, let's fall out.
Yeah. All right, so you're going to look after it?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Stay strong, buddy. Watch it good.
Okay.
So anytime a product is mentioned in Seinfeld, I always love to Google it to see if, in fact, it's real. Mm-hmm. I am sad to report that there is no Label Baby Jr.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Good trivia question, though. I like that. What's the name of the label baby or label maker?
Love the Label Baby. And you recall from my list, the fourth callback here in that clip you heard Jerry say, I don't want to be Switzerland.
Yes.
That's referencing both the mom and pop store and the puffy shirt when Jerry declines to be a pirate.
Doesn't want to be a pirate. Doesn't want to be a cowboy. Doesn't want to be Switzerland.
What does he want to be?
I don't know. Earlier, though, at the top of that clip, he did that one delivery, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
He does that a few times in the show. Big fan of that. But all in all, we get the setup for Risk, the game of world conquest.
Yes.
Very exciting storyline this week. I love the Risk competition or game, between Kramer and Newman.
Oh, love it, hands down, and I'm so excited for what's coming because one of our favorite moments and lines in the show is gonna reveal itself at the end of the episode. Also, you can't see it, but a wonderful bit of physical comedy from Kramer as he's two bits. I'll say the first one is when he's using his head to knock on the door.
Yes.
And then Jerry opens the door, it swoops open, and Kramer's still in knocking mode, so he misses. Well, that's the first one. Secondly, when we all know this one, when he picks up his foot and uses it to slide the newspaper off the kitchen table in one smooth motion. Absolutely fabulous.
We were just talking about that before we started recording, how I think I could do that, but I would pull a hamstring or
No
tear
chance in hell.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think if you try to do it, the newspaper would kind of stick to your heel of your shoe. Mm-hmm. But really, that's like comedic grace.
Yeah.
He's got grace.
Now, there was a deleted scene somewhere between, it's a great, bit of editing here. It's somewhere between Jerry saying, all right, soldier boys, let's fall out, and Kramer saying, watch it, good buddy. But in this scene, Newman walks out of the apartment, and he comes back saying, hey, wait a minute, this has all been too easy. Something's not right. Something's a tad askew. And he brings up, hey, Kramer, you have keys to Jerry's apartment. Cough him up. So
Another callback.
There you go.
This one's in a deleted scene. It's so deep. Mm-hmm. They also clipped out a little bit there where Newman went to go touch the board, and Kramer smacked his hand away.
Oh, nice.
So they clipped out little parts from this scene.
Mm-hmm. But the whole idea of keys, this kind of got brought up in The Switch, which was, written right before this one. How in that, Kramer uses his keys to Newman's apartment to, go in to get the brew line.
That's true.
So there's a lot going on with keys, and I guess also Kramer's on good terms with Newman after he caught him doing something with his mom.
Funny how that we never heard anything else from that after last week.
Yeah, interesting.
Cosmo.
But Elaine arrives, and she sees...
Oh, that's a great trivia question as well. How long were Kramer and Newman... playing at his apartment before he had to go?
6 hours.
There you go. You should be writing this stuff down.
Elaine arrives and she sees Larry's, hello, Jerry's Label Baby Jr. And she thinks they make great gifts. In fact, she just got one for Tim Watley for Christmas. Who sent Jerry this one?
One Tim Watley.
I think this is the same one I gave him. He recycled this gift. He's a regifter.
Or maybe he liked your gift so much he decided to get me the same thing. Perhaps it's an homage.
Yeah, perhaps.
Well, how did he react when you gave it to him?
He said, "Oh, a label maker. How about that?"
He repeated the name of the gift?
Yeah, so?
Oh, well, if you repeat the name of the gift, you can't possibly like it.
What do you mean?
Oh, you know, like when someone opens something up and they go, "Oh, tube socks." What are you going to do about it?
I don't know. I guess I'll just get invited up to his apartment and see if he's got a label maker.
Why'd you get him a gift anyway?
Oh, he did some dental work for me. He didn't charge me, so I thought I'd get him a Christmas present.
Yeah, well, if you're getting him anything for his birthday, I'm a large.
Again, I'm like fawning over this episode, but one of the things I love is this storyline seems so organic. And it seems like it's not, something they conjured up, it's something they just pulled from personal experience. In fact, they do talk about that. In fact, everybody knows about regifting a bottle of wine. Somebody gives it to you, then you have to go to a dinner party. Here's a bottle of wine. And actually, it pains me to say this, but I actually did regift a bottle of wine recently.
Really?
I received one for housewarming, and I had to go to another housewarming, regifted.
God, Vinny.
So the same bottle of wine, gone.
I think everyone is guilty of regifting in some form or another, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But what a great term, regifter. I don't think there's anything too special about the origin of this term. I don't know if it was, in pop culture at the time. I feel like it was really this episode that made it common, but
I'd agree with you.
I think Jeff Schaefer and Alec Berg commented on the DVD that it just was a term they just came up with, really, and they used it over and over in the script, and it just stuck.
It's perfect.
Mm-hmm. Love that moment with Jerry too. Oh, tube socks. Love that. In fact, that bit there, this joke of, oh, if you repeat the name of a gift, you can't possibly like it. That was a Jerry Larry idea for the scene.
Okay.
So
they helped out a little bit on this episode.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
It seems like a lot of this script is as it was in the first draft, but little changes here or there. Nothing major, like a complete rewrite. But next scene, we are at Bonnie's apartment. George and Bonnie arrive. He's checking out the place for the first time, blown away, especially by all the furniture. Turns out it's velvet. Is he a fan?
A fan? He would drape himself in velvet if it was socially acceptable.
Right.
So that's another callback, right, that we've heard before, George's love for velvet. Or is this the first time?
Believe it or not, this is technically the first time.
I stand corrected. That's not even on my list. What was I doing?
Back on the couch, when I think the episode opens with Jerry and George at a furniture store looking at couches, there was a deleted scene where George goes on about velvet.
There you go. Okay.
And I don't remember this exact quote, but it's something about how I'd wrap myself in velvet or I love velvet. The idea gets planted there. But technically, this is the first mention.
But now later in the episode, though, George is going to tell Jerry, I told you I liked velvet, right? And Jerry seems very frustrated with him. Again with the velvet. So
Right.
Jerry's acting like he's heard this before.
And it's funny, if I didn't watch these episodes in order, I would assume he brought it up before.
Of course, yeah.
Well, George even starts sliding around on the hardwood floors.
That is something that we're going to see later on in the Andrea Doria episode.
Yes.
Remember when he's like, what hardwood floors? Try and guard me.
In fact, this apartment set, it always reminds me of the temples, where the door is and the kitchen and the hallway. But I think the apartment in Andrea Doria, it's the same set. I think they just do a paint job.
Hey, good job.
Yeah. But, he starts sliding around on the hardwood floors, and just as George is the happiest he'll ever be with Bonnie, someone walks out from one of the bedrooms. His name is Scott. He's Bonnie's roommate. And just for those listeners that don't ever watch the episode of Seinfeld with our podcast, what does he look like?
He's a short, stocky man with glasses, considerably more hair than George, but
Yes.
pretty similar in appearance.
There's something about this guy's look that I can't stand. It makes me so uncomfortable, especially the fact that he's a roommate of Bonnie's.
He's one of the bizarro Georges, I guess, floating around in the universe.
He kind of similar to the guy from what was it? The Renitzis, the guy that wants the suit.
I hope you rot in that suit.
You're gonna pay.
Now, what? Oh, we already did that episode.
Okay.
Now, what I love about the scene, we didn't really go into details, but Scott comes in the apartment. The look on George's face, from what we know about him from the past 5 seasons, we already know how he's going to react to the girl I'm dating has a male roommate. You know what I mean? Like, you can even hear the crowd. There's like a hush that falls over them. They're aware of what George is about to say and do.
Well, the fact that she has a roommate for one, too, that he looks like the way he does, he watches him go to the kitchen, get an apple, and that moment where Scott just bites the apple looking at George.
Casually.
Scott is a nice guy.
Hey, this is Scott's home. He's on his turf.
Right, but it's just so irritating.
Can I give you a little bit of background on Scott?
Sure.
He is played by actor Cleto Augusto, which is a fantastic name, wouldn't you say? Mm-hmm. Sounds like a superhero. Unfortunately, he did pass away last year. He was at the age of 60.
Oh, no,
and he's
really?
He's born in New Jersey.
Really? Mm-hmm. I feel so bad.
You should.
I'm sure you saved that so I could say all these horrible things about the way he looks.
He was in The Artist, and here's a cool little fact. He was in the first and last episode of Frasier as the same character. He was like a furniture delivery guy.
Oh, really?
And he's had single stints on a lot of 90s sitcoms. Cheers, Home Improvement, We're Married with Children, The Fresh Prince, Murphy Brown.
Wow. How did he pass away?
It didn't give details.
Oh, it's so sad.
But the obituary is online. You can read it.
Oh, man.
And Bonnie is played by Jessica Tuck. She's got a little Anna Gunn thing going on now, don't you think?
Oh, you know who I think she looks like? Early 90s Patricia Arquette.
I could see that too. You know why the reason I say Anna Gunn is if you look at her current IMDb photo, it's her and Anna Gunn look like sisters.
Oh, Bryan Cranston. There you go.
There you go. She's been in Super 8, Judging Amy, True Blood, and One Life to Live.
Very cool. I also read that she played Nicole Brown Simpson in not American Crime Story.
Not the current one. This was from 1995.
Right. This is called The O.J. Simpson Story. It was a TV movie. I don't know who played O.J. in that. I don't know if anyone famous, but
let me check it out.
I don't think she really has a Nicole Brown Simpson vibe, but whatever. She's got blonde hair. It was the 90s.
O.J. is played by Bobby Hosea.
All right, not familiar with that name. No, he's no Cuba, but
yeah.
Anyways, or is it Cuba? It's Cuba, right?
I thought it was Cuba, but
Cuba Gooding. I've never heard of a Cebu. Anyways, it's the fever. Next scene here, we are at Monk's. George is complaining about Scott.
Male roommate.
Yes, a male roommate.
And this is a problem?
It's a huge problem, Jerry. The hardest part about having sex with a woman is getting her to come back to your place. He's already got that.
Well, maybe he's...
No, believe me, he's not.
So he's an eligible receiver.
She's confiding in him about our dates. You always like the person you talk to about the date more than the date. It's just a matter of time till they realize, hey, we can have sex.
What's stopping him?
Exactly. You know how they get animals to reproduce in captivity? They just put them in the same cage.
What does he look like?
Oh, that's the worst part of it. He looks just like me.
He looks like you and he's working from the inside?
I look like me and I'm working from the outside. Who do you think's in the better position?
Not you.
This bizarre Harriet experiment must end.
We'll take a check, please.
I gotta find a way to work this out. I love that apartment. It's so cozy. I'm ensconced in velvet. You know, if it was socially acceptable...
I know you would drape yourself in velvet.
I've said that before?
Many times. You love velvet. You want to live in velvet. Everything with the velvet.
First thing I love about that clip, the sports analogy. So he's an eligible receiver.
Oh, I love that term.
That seems to come up a lot too in just Seinfeld overall is sports analogies and their relationship to dating. So this is perfect.
Oh, see, I thought that was a gay thing.
Well, I'm just saying the fact that he's an eligible receiver, meaning he is also eligible to date Bonnie.
Right, of course, he's straight, but there's in fact
he's not gay. Yeah,
he's not gay, but in the beard, there's the whole I'm a starting shortstop.
That's right. Yeah,
yeah, this is great. I love that term though. It reminds me of that moment in Curb where they're talking about Jeff Garland's brother-in-law. Is he a little conservative?
Yeah.
But great line from George, too. I'm sure you have several in this scene, Vinny. You know how they get animals to reproduce in captivity? They just put them in the same cage.
That's one. My favorite, though, has to be, you can see George's frustration level just inching up with each back and forth between him and Jerry.
Yeah.
But Jerry seems to match George on that level after George says, "This Herod experiment must end. We'll take a check, please."
This reminds me of another scene out there where, George is ranting and Jerry's sort of like, jumping in with little comments like that.
That's right, yeah.
It just feels very familiar. I did not know what the Herod experiment was.
Nor did I.
little Google search turned up a film from 1973. It's a fictional school called Herod College where students learn about sexuality and experiment with each other. It was based on a 1962 novel by Robert Rimmer. Great scene, though, with Jerry and George. But Kramer joins the two. He sits down. He seems a bit concerned, a little paranoid. He saw Newman talking to the super who has keys to Jerry's apartment, and he thinks that Newman is planning a sneak attack. But Jerry doesn't think that's the case.
Yeah, all right, fine. You sit here and watch while Newman takes over the world, but he'll be a horrible leader. And you know who's going to suffer? The little people. You and George.
Oh, man, so a few things here. Who's the super in this situation?
I had the same question for you.
All right, so we have Harold and Manny from the apartment. I always assumed Manny was the super, and like Harold did like the... I don't know, he was like the landlord or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
But we're going to meet a character, Julio, in the Kiss Hello.
See, Julio seems more like a handyman or the maintenance guy rather than the actual super.
Isn't that what a super is? Or not?
I think of the Joe Pesci movie, The Super. He wasn't the handyman.
I've never heard of that one.
And then there's also Silvio.
Yes.
These are the people who tend to run the building. So
Right.
I guess we can imagine which one it would be. I have a feeling it's probably Julio just because we're going to see Julio in the Kiss Hello.
Yeah, we're going to see him in a couple of weeks now. But yeah, that one makes sense. There was also a bit of deleted dialogue here where Jerry would ask, isn't the emperor of the world, or this horrible leader, whoever won the last game? And Kramer would tell him in that moment, well, actually, we've never finished a game.
And I love that. I really wish they would have kept that in because I can just imagine Michael delivering it in true Kramer fashion with that quick, we never finished a game.
Yeah, exactly.
It would, oh man, it'd be a perfect capper for a scene.
And one last note here from the commentary track. Did you pick up on the term that Jeff threw out there?
I did. I thought he was gonna go for the hostile compliment, but he refers to it as a kindly insult. The way Kramer says, "The little people, you and George."
Kindly insult. I
think that's pretty similar to a hostile compliment. Well, semantics.
Well, Kramer spoke to Arthur Jobania. The Drake's wedding, that's off. And right there is one of my favorite go-to trivia questions. Who told Kramer that the Drake's wedding is off? That is a great name.
Yes, I love that name. I would imagine it's one of Larry David's friends, but it could potentially be a Schaefer or Berg friend too.
Yeah, Jobania, man. And it fits perfectly as a piece of Kramer dialogue. Like Jay Riemenschneider.
Yeah, Corky Ramirez. So anyway, the Drake, he found out the wedding's on the same day as the Super Bowl. He wanted to postpone it. They got in a big argument, and it's over. Kramer's like physical comedy as well as his noises are so on point in this episode.
There's a pop he does later when he's, taking over South America. But it's like,
yes,
it's so loud. I'm like, how does he do that? But let's cut over to Jerry's apartment. Now Jerry can go to the Super Bowl since the wedding is off, but he doesn't think it's fair to call Tim and ask for the tickets back.
He can't give something and take it back. What is he?
What?
Hey, I got a problem with that because later on he's going to use that term when he sees Watley on the street.
What term is that?
Out scalping.
Oh yes,
he didn't learn his lesson.
Good point. Well, George says, hey, it's only been 2 days. There's got to be a grace period for Jerry to get the tickets back.
More importantly, if he can re-gift, why can't you de-gift?
You may have a point.
I have a point.
Now, we should put a little asterisk there. This joke, I think, comes back later. You know, the idea of repeating what someone else says.
Yep. It's like part of the Seinfeld formula. What's going to be funny within the universe?
Absolutely. And there's this little throwaway line here. I think, Vinny, it's one of our favorites.
What's that?
No, it's Risk. It's a game of world domination being played by two guys who can barely run their own lives.
It's been great over the past year or two, getting emails from people or, you know, posts on Facebook and Twitter saying, "I just realized that line is from the label maker."
I love that. And that line, pure Jerry Seinfeld, according to Jeff Schaefer.
There you go. It's a great line. One of my favorites. So Jerry calls Tim and says, "Hey, Tim, I can use the tickets now, but he already made plans. He can't change them."
Well, they're his tickets. He can do whatever he wants with them.
Thanks.
So George was, siding with his friend, trying to help him get these tickets back, and quickly he's given up on the cause.
I love that. So George finishes eating some pickles from a jar, and as he leaves, he says, "I'm heading over to Bonnie's." He has to figure out a way to switch places with a roommate. It's like a Siegfried and Roy trick.
Well, the pickle breath's a good start.
And as George leaves, Jerry closes the door, but this is just as Newman stops it with his foot and sticks his head through.
Hello, Jerry. May I come in?
What do you want?
Nothing. It's being neighborly. Do you want to hang out? Shoot the breeze?
I'm not letting you cheat, Newman. You're not getting anywhere near that board.
Jerry, I'm a little insulted.
You're not a little anything, Newman. So just pack it up and move it out of here.
Oh, by the way, what are you doing for the Super Bowl?
I don't know, watch it on TV, I guess. Why?
Well, if you watch closely enough, you just might see me. I'll be the one waving to the camera from my seat on the 40-yard line.
You're going to the Super Bowl?
Yes, I am. A guy in my mail route just got a couple of tickets, and he offered one to me.
What's his name?
Tim Watley.
That's my ticket!
Is it? Oh, well, if only you'd known, you could have saved some time and given it directly to me.
No.
I love that opening line. "Hello, Jerry. May I come in?" And then that squeeze and that turn through the door.
Yes.
It's just incredible. In fact, you can see that, that it's like a heating pipe. You can see it move a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think Newman or Wayne Knight meant to do that. Now, the characters talk about this later, but very bizarre that Tim Watley would take his mailman to the Super Bowl. This makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, well,
I mean, are they friends?
Perhaps. You might see your mailman on his route and say hello to him. But why not offer him tickets?
Really?
If you got nobody else to go with.
Would you take your mailman?
Yeah, I think I would. I would think Tim Watley, from what we're going to learn about him in subsequent episodes, probably has, he has that big, with the Christmas party.
Or the Hanukkah party.
Hanukkah party, thank you. I would think he'd have some friends he could invite, or one of his dental assistants, perhaps.
Very bizarre. Another bit of trivia. Again, it's number, but the seat is on the 40-yard line.
Oh, that is good.
I think that's a good one. And you get little clues here. Row F, 40-yard line. At the end of the episode, I think Jerry's in seat 4. So
right.
right.
That's a great bonus question for trivia.
Well, let's cut over to Bonnie's apartment here. George and Bonnie are enjoying a movie that Scott recommended.
Oh, Scott.
And George tries to pretend, what a great guy her roommate is, but he still has a few questions.
When you come out of the shower and you put your robe on, do you cinch it real tight? Are you concerned about that?
George?
Do you hold the neck together with one hand, or you just letting it flap in the breeze?
Oh, George, you're being ridiculous.
What's the massage situation?
What do you mean?
Is there any work being done? Is there any rubbing, touching, finger manipulation on the other person? And if so, who's making the request?
Oh, George, you just stop.
Say you go to the bathroom at 2 o'clock in the morning. What's the outfit? I mean, are you dressing up, or you come as you are?
I love this. It's just, it's so George.
Yeah.
So George finally comes clean. He's upset about a grown woman having a male roommate. It's unnatural. It's an abomination. And this is just as Scott enters.
Hey!
Hey!
How you doing?
I'm good.
Are you gonna need the bathroom? Because I'm gonna jump in the shower.
No, Oh, just throw my bras out of the way.
I got nothing to say. I'm loving this episode. I feel like Elaine right now. Hey, I'm a fan. But hey, that line, throw my bras out of the way, that was added just as they were shooting.
Oh, really? That's
on the spot
good.
in the scene.
I like that a lot. You know, it's funny how the whole Scott Bonnie situation is sort of similar, you know, from one point of view to the is it Lynette?
And Neil?
No, not Neil. Lyle.
I'm thinking of no. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I see. You think because a girl is with someone that looks like George. I thought of the Summer of George, where Jerry dates the girl who has some dude in her apartment.
That's true.
I don't know. There's a lot of connections there, but I guess my question is, like, with Scott, did you think when you first saw this that, like, were they dating? Were they like?
I figured he was a roommate. But potentially they may have had a history, kind of like a Jerry and Elaine kind of thing. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. I don't want to say like George is like right to be angry about all of this. You know, like a grown woman with a male roommate. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but
nothing wrong with it.
It would make me uncomfortable if I dated someone.
Yes,
right?
I agree fully. If I went to a girl that I was dating, her apartment, and there was a gentleman there who was an eligible receiver, I would feel a little intimidated by that.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're outside Whatley's apartment. Tim and Elaine are, you know, outside after going on a date, I guess. And this, I guess, is their first date, right?
Yeah.
Because if you look back in the mom and pop store, he asks her out. She says no, thinking he's talking about the nuts.
I have a little chronology of their relationship so far.
Cool.
Elaine has always been dying for Tim Whatley to ask her out. Tim invites her to
ask me out.
Exactly. You don't want to go out with the dentist. Tim invites her to his Thanksgiving Eve party. She turns it down with him because she's temporarily deaf. He gets upset. Then she has the dental work done by him. She buys him this Label Baby Jr., and now they go on a date.
There you go. Yeah.
So
does that not add up for you?
Well, because she potentially snubbed him at the Thanksgiving Eve party.
Yeah.
So they must have had to reconcile.
Yeah, it sounds like it, and that came from her showing up for an appointment.
Her dental work, which he didn't charge her for.
Yeah, so he always likes her, you know.
All right.
Oh, God. Well, when they arrive at his place, you know, he's going to say goodbye, but she asks, oh, aren't you going to invite me upstairs? And he's kind of taken aback, you know, that she wants to go upstairs.
I would love to go upstairs.
Oh, Elena's something else, you know. No one could ever put a label on her, huh?
We'll see. I see you continue to give me all the Elaine lines. Whatever.
What, are you insecure about something there?
No.
Next scene, we're at Monk's. Jerry is complaining that Tim is taking Newman. You know, who goes to the Super Bowl with their mailman?
Who goes anywhere with Newman?
Well, he's merry.
He is merry, I'll give him that. And damn, is that the perfect word to describe Newman?
Merry?
Yeah, he's always got that smile on his face and goodbye, Jerry. Yeah,
you don't think he's pure evil, though?
No, he's just loving life. But I think merry is the perfect way to describe him.
Well, George has a cactus on the table. Turns out it's to smooth things over with Bonnie after their tiff, which is very odd.
Only George.
A cactus. You think that's going to play into the episode somehow, like someone sits on it, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, Elaine arrives.
Guess what? I'm going to the Super Bowl with Tim Whatley.
What?
We went out for coffee last night and he offered me a ticket.
What about the label maker?
Well.
Wait a minute, that's my ticket. You didn't even want to go.
It was totally out of the blue. We went upstairs to his apartment, you know, to look for the label maker.
So how did you get up there? Did you say you had to use the bathroom?
No.
Then how'd you get up there?
I said, do you want to go upstairs?
And there's your ticket.
Well, that's why you're going to the Super Bowl.
Why?
You go out with a guy one time, you ask him to go upstairs like you're Mae West. Of course he's going to try and get you alone for the weekend.
You mean just because I asked him to go upstairs, he thinks he's going downtown?
Obviously.
You're crazy.
Yeah, well, what happened when you got upstairs?
Well, as soon as we walked in, he got a call from one of his patients with an impacted molar or something, so he had to leave. I didn't even get a chance to look for the label maker.
Yeah, well, I don't trust this guy. I think he re-gifted, and then he de-gifted, and now he's using an upstairs invite as a springboard to a Super Bowl sex romp.
I feel like this is one of those episodes where it's kind of just writing itself. Doesn't that dialogue feel so effortless and Seinfeldian?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm loving it.
Nothing in this episode feels forced. Nothing feels like it's disconnected. Everything ties together. It's a really solid episode. And I think Jeff and Alec mentioned something on the commentary about the best episodes had like a central idea or thing or event and people revolved around it. Those are the best episodes. And I tend to agree that this centers a lot around Super Bowl. You know?
We are here. Now, another thing I noticed, Elaine comes in and does a little dance. But it looks like Laney's got some actual dance moves here, huh?
Yeah. She's doing a pretty good job.
So this is before we had the little kicks where we learned that she was a horrible dancer.
Maybe it's when music is playing. That's what throws her off, you know?
Ah, yes, the fog hat. Yes, go ahead.
But, that's a great opening line. You know, I'm going to the Super Bowl with Tim Watley. I love also Jerry's line. You ask him to go upstairs like you're Mae West. It's a good one.
And she's so quick to dismiss. She was so angry about that label maker and the potential regifting. Jerry asks her, what about the label maker? And her response is, well. You know what I mean? Like, she's so excited that she got the invite to the Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely. And that last line, you can't top that. You know, I think he regifted, then he de-gifted, and now he's using an upstairs invite as a springboard to Super Bowl sex romp.
Oh, yeah. So quotable. And another term, a de-gifter.
Yes, regift, de-gift. I do not get how Jerry made it through that quote. It's so funny. God, I love that.
So fun to say, and from what we know of him, you would so imagine him to crack up at that line.
Absolutely. Well, we get an act break, and next scene we're at Jerry's apartment. In the hallway, Jerry's about to unlock his door when Kramer steps out. You know, he's been watching Jerry's door from his peephole.
Fisheye sees all.
It made me wonder, does that tie into the reverse people? I mean, good thing Kramer didn't switch that around. This
time, yes. But
why do I get that image in my head of
George waving?
No, not that. When when Newman like checks Kramer's reverse people, and then they have a conversation.
Yeah.
Then he closes the door and Newman walks away, but then he like looks back in.
Newman has male curiosity, I think.
Now inside Jerry's apartment, Newman stealthily sneaks around the corner from the bedroom, heading for the risk board, and it almost looks like he's dressed up like a pseudo cat burglar, like he's got like a tracksuit on.
Yeah, sweat jacket tied tight.
Well, he's heading for the risk board, and he slips up, accidentally knocking over a stack of CDs, and then Jerry and Kramer hear from the hallway. They rush in just as Newman, sprints to the fire escape.
The bedroom.
That noise after the bedroom, it reminds me of Clue when the lights get turned off.
Oh, yeah.
Where someone falls.
I'm thinking of Colonel Mustard when the door shuts on him, but what are you...
The lights get turned off when Mr. Body turns off the lights. Want to be to kill Wadsworth. Now. And then you hear bump, bump.
Ooh, we got to do a Clue radio play.
Oh, God.
You do all the voice work, or all the sound effects.
Did you notice how Newman runs off? It's very, like, Looney Tunes-ish.
He scampers, right?
He runs in place, and then he takes off.
Another brilliant physical performance by Wayne Knight in this episode. We're going to see even more from that later. But yeah, Jeff Schaefer commented, it seems like his, like the wheels spin in motion before you get going.
Yeah.
He's like ramping up before he can actually take off, like the Roadrunner.
Right. Now, Newman didn't get a chance, to move any pieces on the board. He takes off for the fire escape. Jerry and Kramer run into the bedroom just as he's climbing up, and they stick their heads out the window. I see you, Newman, I see you.
I'm taking the cargo as a penalty. Great blooper there also when they shot that on a different take. Michael ran and kind of had to swing his leg outside the window. He actually caught himself in the nards. Yeah. And he couldn't finish the line, so they had to do it over again.
Oh, boy. Well, next scene, Elaine and Tim are in a taxi cab.
Here we go again. I've got a confession to make. I've got Super Bowl fever.
You really nailed those Elaine quotes.
I got no I got nothing to say.
Well, she starts asking some questions, trying to figure out the sleeping arrangements. They're staying at the Ambassador, but is it a big room?
It's a regular room, but it's right downtown.
Downtown?
Right downtown.
There you go. You got a Tim quote.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
And she wonders if there's more than one bed, and, Tim tries to joke about her bringing someone else, and she lays it down pretty much, Should there be 2 beds? There's 2 of us.
And she holds up the 2 sign, and Tim is completely deflated. His hopes are dashed, and he holds up a weak little 2. Yeah, right.
I think Bryan Cranston is just so good in this episode. Oh, he's so defeated. That face.
Yeah.
When he finds out, okay, there's no way I'm going to get to sleep with Elaine. But next scene, we're at Bonnie's apartment. Love this line when George gives Bonnie the cactus. They don't need any water, so you don't have to keep taking them to the bathroom.
What did she think of that? Did she laugh?
I think so. I think that's a cute line.
True.
Do you like that? Like a plant going to the bathroom? It's cute.
Of course. I like it.
Okay. So, as he arrives, Scott walks by carrying a box and sarcastically says, "Well, look who's here." And it turns out that Bonnie asked him to move out.
Oh.
And next scene, we are at Jerry's apartment. George is acting very cocky. Now it's just me and her. And Jerry is able to completely shatter his happiness here.
She rearranged her whole life for you.
Yeah, I guess she did. He's gone. Now I'm the man.
That's not a good role for you.
No, it's not.
You unwittingly made a major commitment. That's a lot of pressure.
Oh my God.
You wanted to be ensconced in velvet. You're buried.
I love this. Jerry is just so good. He is the master at just bringing anyone down. Just shattering their confidence, their happiness.
Especially his best friend, George Costanza.
Absolutely. George freaks out. Scott was shouldering half the load.
He was shouldering.
There you go. There's that joke, right? That Woody Woodpecker-esque.
Yeah.
George needs to help out Bonnie tape up the rest of Scott's boxes, get them ready for shipping. So Jerry gives him Watley's label maker. He doesn't want to see it again.
Is Jerry giving away the label maker in similar fashion to the way he gave away the suit that Banya gave him? Like he can't stay on the side of it anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. The label maker is worthless compared to the suit, but
true.
He's really good at doing that. Even the Super Bowl tickets to Tim Watley, Jerry just gives things to people.
Well, he's inevitably it's going to come back to him. Things always even out for him.
That's true.
Which they do. He gets to actually go to the Super Bowl after all.
There you go. Well, at the dinner table, Kramer is beating Newman at Risk, specifically taking over South America. Newman is not happy. He's losing. And I love, as they continue playing, Jerry's line as he leaves.
Thanks for having me over, guys.
I love that. I don't know. What do you call that, Jerry? It's like sarcastic with like defeated?
Yeah. Well, he's got no control over the situation. These 2 people are going to be in his home as he leaves, And
it's totally different, but it just reminds me of that time when he walks in and like Kramer and Newman are like at the dining room table. Do you remember this?
Yes. What does he say? Something like,
"Hey, can I get you boys some drinks and sandwiches?"
No, but you can clear some of this mess away.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Love that. Anyways, down on the sidewalk, Jerry parts ways with George as Watley runs up to him and lets him know, hey, things didn't really work out with Elaine, so he's giving Jerry one of the tickets back. And
Jerry doesn't really prod Watley about what happened. He just says, "Oh, okay," and takes his ticket. It's on his way.
Yeah, what are you gonna say, right? It's just maybe Elaine was busy that day. Who knows?
Okay.
But this is again playing into that creepy Tim Watley vibe. We didn't really get it in the mom and pop store, but
He doesn't seem creepy in this episode as much as we're going to see in later episodes. He just seems like a guy. He thought things would work out with this woman.
Maybe creepy's not the right word. Maybe sleazy is a better word.
Well, he was under the impression that sex would be had, or the possibility, right? But,
and then to say, "Oh, Elaine, you can't go anymore."
Exactly.
Because Watley was the one, I assume, who said Elaine couldn't come, right? Or do you think she said she couldn't go?
Oh, I think Watley de-gifted once he found out he wasn't going downtown.
And that's even worse, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Than if Elaine were the one to cancel. But anyways.
Here's that line where when they bump into each other on the street, Jerry says, "Oh, hey, Watley, out scalping?"
Yes, exactly. Good call. Jerry notices, though, that Kramer's car is being towed and screams up to the window,
Hey, Cosmo! They're towing your car! What? Hey, my car! They're towing my car!
What are you doing?
I'm taking the board with me.
Hey! Hey!
So, I guess I'll see you at the game. Yeah, see you then. Yeah, good.
This one really needs to be a video podcast, because to see Michael Richards and Wayne Knight hurling themselves down the street after this tow truck, it's really a sight.
Yeah, it's incredible. Let's start at the beginning. I love, these are all different sets. I love that Jerry can scream up to the apartment.
Yeah.
Kramer can look down, and then later you can see them running on the street. Like, I just love that, connecting all of those different sets together into, one bit of New York reality.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I love the fact that now we're using Cosmo. He's no longer just Kramer.
Yeah.
Hey, Cosmo!
Yeah, good one. We just found out last week his name is Cosmo. And then, as you pointed out, Newman, how he moves. And I think we've alluded to this scene more than any, showing that Wayne Knight is very light on his feet. And in fact, there's a quote on the DVD. Wayne Knight's interviewed, and he talks about, being light on his feet. Early in life, I had been hurling myself for comedic reasons because it's unexpected. And to be light on your toes and to be able to run quickly and make deft moves is what most fat guys do. So there you go. But I don't get how he does it. It's just, I don't think I could run that fast. I just wouldn't look like that.
He's hovering, if you will.
Hovering. So next scene, we're at Bonnie's apartment. George arrives. She's taping up a bunch of boxes. Everything is gone. The whole apartment looks cleaned out. Turns out it was all Scott's.
But the table, the stereo, the VCR, the velvet couch, what happened with the velvet?
All his. Besides, we don't need any of those things. We have each other. And she starts kissing George, and he's just so upset. So ultimately, for George, it was really the apartment that he loved, not Bonnie.
Oh, yeah. He was in love with the apartment. Women, girlfriends are replaceable, but that apartment. There was some stuff that was in the original draft that they kind of took out, but they had more stuff about George and how much he loved the apartment. In addition to the hardwood floors, George said, when he was a kid, he would pretend to ice skate on the hardwood floors, with pajamas kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then he got a splinter and cried and cried. Kind of.
That's it.
It's fitting for the George character.
Totally.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey, how are we doing on those references or callbacks this episode?
I think that was the last one was the velvet from the couch, that deleted scene. So that was my 6th.
Oh, wow. So let's run through them one more time then.
What I had on my list was Drake's wedding, Mendy's. We have one more that we haven't got to. That'll be at the end of the episode.
Okay.
I don't want to be Switzerland. The deleted scene with Newman asking Kramer to cough up Jerry's keys, and then George's love of velvet. So those are the ones I had. There's one more coming, but we got to save that for the end.
All right, cool. Next scene. This scene is a real doozy. It's Kramer and Newman riding the subway, and they're playing the game on their laps. We didn't really describe it, but Kramer took the game with him, out of the apartment.
Yeah, so, it's hard to balance those board games. I'm surprised they could manage on the subway.
And the pieces, those Risk pieces are really small and light.
I know.
But somehow they made it on the subway. They've got the board, spread across their laps. And, here we go.
Are you sure you know where the impound yard is?
Oh, stop stalling. Come on.
I can't think. There's all this noise.
Or is it because I've built a stronghold around Greenland? I've driven you out of Western Europe? And I've left you teetering on the brink of complete annihilation.
I'm not beaten yet. I still have armies in the Ukraine.
Yeah, the Ukraine. You know what the Ukraine is? It's a sitting duck. A road apple, Newman. The Ukraine is weak. It's feeble. I think it's time to put the hurt on the Ukraine.
I come from Ukraine. You not say Ukraine weak?
Yeah, well, we're playing a game here, pal.
Ukraine is came to you? How about I take your little bullets?
One of my all-time favorite lines, and it's not even from one of the principal characters. It's from the Ukrainian. Mm-hmm. You know, say Ukraine weak. I love that, and I always find a way to insert into a conversation.
Yeah, this scene is one of the all-time classics. I think most Seinfeld fans will rally behind this scene. Very quotable, very memorable.
And I was kind of shocked to hear Jeff Schaffer say that they kind of weren't satisfied with the ending of this storyline between Kramer and Newman with the Risk. But I think it's a perfect way to end it, that this Ukrainian gentleman on the subway is the one who ruins their game.
It feels very convenient. I think like from a writing standpoint.
True. What are the odds of a, like a guy from the Ukraine?
It's great. I love it.
So,
but it is a bit forced.
Just enjoy the damn shit.
I am.
I'm not talking to you.
No. I love that line. You were mentioning the, you not say Ukraine weak. I love Kramer going, yeah, well, we're playing a game here, pal.
Yeah. He's
like,
so
totally blows him off.
The Ukrainian gentleman is played by Wayne Grace. And he was in Dances with Wolves, Mulholland Drive, Far and Away, Twins. Lots of voice work. He does a lot of voice work for all the Star Wars video games.
Oh, very cool. Interesting. Now, there were a few variations of the scene and different endings for the Risk storyline altogether. At one point, the subway car lights were going to flicker off for a moment. And when they came back on, Kramer found Newman leaning over the Risk board, trying to move the pieces.
Ah, that reminds me of the Subway episode when everything blacked out.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I like that ending. That's cool.
Well, again, I think it still led to the Ukrainian man. That was just a little moment. But
oh, I see.
But there was a different ending altogether where they made it to the impound yard, and then the guy there gave Newman a really good military plan to defeat Kramer.
Yeah, Newman thought he was all but done, and this guy said, "Oh no, this is a way you can do it. You can turn this whole thing around." And he was able to defeat Kramer.
But I love the Ukrainian guy.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, when I met Liz, my wife, and I found out she was Ukrainian, immediately thought of the scene.
And then you married her.
There you go. So next scene, we're outside Watley's apartment. Elaine surprises Tim. She's waiting for him. It's kind of creepy. She claims she's not mad. She just came by to pick up her label maker. And this is when she gets him to crack. And she accuses him of regifting, but it turns out that the damn thing didn't work at all. You put a label on something, 10 minutes later, it would peel right off. It was the worst gift Tim ever got.
Well, I bought it for you because you were so nice to me for not charging me for the dental work. The way you worked on my filling, you were so gentle, so caring, so sensitive.
Oh, Elaine.
And there is the story of how Bryan Cranston got the flu from Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
There you go. I was really listening to hear if Julia sounded any different this week, but I don't think she sounds that stuffed up. I never would have guessed she was sick.
Nor would I.
Mm-hmm. Well, we briefly cut over to a mail truck, and we get a close-up shot of Scott's boxes as the labels fall right off. They have his name, his address, all that jazz. And I always thought the labels looked really weird here because, in reality, I guess they're glued on, or there's some weird liquid adhesive on the back of them. But
okay. Well, perhaps it was like in the episode where Elaine, the fountain pen exploded in her bag at Mr. Pitt's. And, we commented on why that's a lot of ink, but it had to play on TV.
Hey, Gymnast, another
Worlds Colliding?
Jeff and Alec joint. That is a ridiculous trivia question. What's Scott Thomas's address?
Oh, forget that. Close up shop. I wouldn't get that.
I did Google that address, and it's just a few blocks away from that. The parking garage that I love in Manhattan because it's so cheap?
Yeah.
It's just a few blocks from this address.
Oh, cool.
So it's a steal. Love that parking garage. Anyways, we're at Bonnie's apartment. George arrives to an empty apartment. He's carrying a mini TV so they can watch the Super Bowl. And, he's like, hey, do you have some towels we could sit on? It's like a 4-hour game. Turns out Scott's going to drop by. Apparently, he never got his boxes. And as she goes to get his towels, George wonders, how am I going to get out of this one? And
which is very similar to George when he's walking up the steps with Susan. How you remember he was pining over her, he wandered back. Mm-hmm. This was in the pic. What can I do to, make this woman recoil in horror and leave me? So, right, he's like, wheels are spinning.
How am I going to get out of this? Think, Stanza, think.
Here we are.
Hey, do you know, Bonnie, I just had a pretty wild idea.
What is it?
Well, not sure how you pronounce it or anything, but I believe it's menage a trois. Hi.
Scott, remember what we talked about the other day? George is into it.
Oh, really?
I'm speechless.
I love it.
No speech.
And I did not see this coming. I remember the first time watching this episode, like, oh my God, they're going to do a callback to the episode we just saw. Love that ending.
It's phenomenal the way they tied those two together. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they, Jerry had the opportunity to sleep with two beautiful women last week. He turned it down. George, of course, it's not going to be two beautiful women. There's going to be a man who happens to look just like him in the mix. Like the fact that, they presented the menage a trois as something awful for George. It can't get any better than that.
Yeah, I can't think of a worse situation for George to be in than a menage a trois with Scott. It's just, and that ending, that shot, it's like a, it's kind of like a shaking cam, like a POV of Scott walking towards George as he's screaming. Mm-hmm. So good.
And that is my sixth reference callback that I found from last week's The Switch.
Very nice. So good. In fact, I think that this menage a trois joke is better than the one in The Switch.
Oh, hands down. But it's only that much better because what we saw last week. And remember how we've discussed previously with episodes that they kind of piggyback off each other and they feel like they could be unofficial two-parters?
Yeah.
I don't know if this one came up, but The Switch and The Label Maker are definite two-parter episode.
I would agree, if only for that joke.
Yeah.
What do you think is going on, now that we have the whole picture here, between Scott and Bonnie? Are they roommates? They're
definitely roommates, but I think they have kind of a open door policy. You know what I mean? It's like...
So they mess around then?
I would imagine.
Okay. I love that shot of Scott. Oh, really?
He's an orgy guy.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy. Such a great ending. Apparently, the original ending is much worse. Much, much worse. Where Scott would show up with no boxes, and it'd be pouring out, and Bonnie just can't turn him away.
Which is what George was frightened of all along.
Right.
Her actually, wanting to be with Scott.
Or just caring about him too much. Like, she can't let go of this guy. It kind of reminded me of the... was it the wait out? Whatever the scene was when Elaine is over at David Lookner's apartment. They're getting drunk together, and then Beth shows up, and they get back together, and she's just like, all right, well.
Same thing. Mm-hmm. I got to tell you, it's not bad. Yeah, same thing. But, man, this ending cannot not be the bad menage a trois. Like it has to be that.
Yes.
So thank goodness they rewrote that.
Absolutely. Now the last scene of the episode, I kind of condensed them. We're at the Super Bowl. Jerry has his Super Bowl swag. You know, he's moving down the stairs. He finds his row, finds his seat, and as he moves down the row, he finds Newman in the seat next to him. Turns out Tim couldn't make it because he's in love. And then later we hear about Newman's streak of luck he's having.
Great streak of luck I'm having. First, Kramer almost beats me at risk, but I narrowly escape. And then Tim Wadley gives me this Super Bowl ticket.
Can you move over at all?
And then, just as I'm about to go, these boxes show up at the post office with no labels. No labels, Jerry. You know what that means? Freebies! I get this great mini TV and a VCR. Oh, it's unbelievable.
An inch. Can you move over an inch?
Come on.
One of the best Newman line reads is the freebies
Yes.
in that clip.
Oh, God. He's so annoying in this scene. I like that last line, too, from Jerry. You know, an inch. Can you move over an inch?
Yeah.
Do you think Jerry stuck it out for the whole game?
Probably not, since it was like a big. They won by like 20-something points.
Right.
If we're going by the actual score.
Sure. Good point. Good point. Apparently, these stadium scenes were filmed on temporary, stands built on the parking lot outside of the writing and production offices.
Pretty cool.
I think we've seen this before, like in the Chaperone when they're at the baseball game. But yeah, man, that's it. Should we move on to ratings and reviews?
Please.
So, what do you think?
Does this episode go downtown?
Right downtown.
Oh, it's downtown, baby.
Dude, I think we're in complete agreement here. This is one of the best episodes of season 6.
Yeah.
It's definitely cracking our top 20.
I feel like I was sleeping on this episode. I'm just like, oh yeah, episode of the week is The Label Maker. I cannot get over how much I love this episode from start to finish. I'm laughing out loud. There's great quotes. At least 6 callbacks. There's more. Everything. We got a lot of Newman in there. All these great storylines. The Risk. The Wadley's in there. Everything about this episode is fantastic. And the best part of all is the botched menage a trois that ends poorly for George. What can you say?
I don't have much to add, really, other than I just love this episode too. This has always been one of my favorites.
Such a sleeper.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it doesn't get a whole lot of attention. It falls somewhere like in the middle of the season, and I feel like those episodes get overlooked, like the beard, the doodle, next week's episode. I don't know, but this is a gem of an episode.
Darn tootin'.
And as Alec Berg pointed out on the commentary, I think this is at least the best episode I can think of that they wrote. I have to look at all of their episodes to compare.
Right.
But
so far, agreed.
Yeah, solid episode. Which storyline do you like the most? Are you a fan of the label maker regifting? Do you like the roommate or the Risk? Like, what are you all about?
I'm gonna go with the roommate. Menage a trois solely for that reason. Solely for that ending, that payoff is what makes it the best for me. But I love the Risk. I love the label maker. I love Elaine Watley as well as Jerry. Trying to get rid of these tickets. So it all works.
Yeah, fantastic.
What about you? What's your favorite?
I think I have to go with Risk.
Mm-hmm.
I just love I always love Kramer and Newman together. That's just one of my favorite components or team ups on the show. And I love the fact that they're just so obsessed with this stupid board game, and it's taking them so long to play. I mean, as we know from last summer, we kind of found ourselves like in a circle where it was just a matter of rolling the dice, and it could have gone on for days at the rate we were moving.
Oh yeah, and you think you're on the just like in the episode, you're on the verge of complete annihilation, and then the tides turn. And you keep playing. It's like Monopoly in a way.
But yeah, it's just a fantastic episode, man. I love the Risk arc. I love pretty much everything about this episode. There's really nothing I could complain about. It would almost be stupid.
You cannot not love this episode.
Absolutely. I love that everyone's scenes are well balanced. Everyone gets enough screen time. We get guest stars like Newman and Tim Watley. You know, those are big names. You know, someone's got a girlfriend. We get relationship stuff. Like it's everything is in this episode. You know, there's so much.
And the episode is only better with the commentary. We got a lot of good behind the scenes stuff this week too, I think.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Julia with the cold, and you got the improvised sneeze, all that stuff.
I love that. But when it comes to your top 20, Vinny, where is this going to fall?
Well, it's only fitting that this is going to knock out my number 20 episode of The Switch. But I'm putting the label maker at number 10. So it's going to be in between the Hamptons at number 9 and the Bubble Boy, which is now at number 11.
Oh, very good. Well, I'm going to put this a little bit higher than you. I'm going to put this at my, believe it or not, my number 9. This is getting smacked between the contest at number 8 and the Marine Biologist. Classic at number 10. Yeah. So I'm saying farewell to the airport. It is departing my top 20.
Alrighty, that's going to do it for us here on Seincast this week. Please feel free to send us an email at seincast@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, or Instagram.
Vinny, what episode do we have next week?
Next week, we're talking a Blue Streak Now, Jack. We're discussing the 13th episode of Season 6, The Scofflaw. Good for you, Jack.
But for now, I'm Matt.
I'm Vinny.
Signing off. Seincast is not endorsed by Castle Rock Entertainment, Sony Pictures, or NBC. It is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Seinfeld, the Seinfeld logo, and all names, pictures, and audio of Seinfeld characters are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and copyright holders.
Thanks for having me over, guys.
Yeah.